Well, so we have to take a look at the news. I hope that you enjoyed that, Mr. Rawlings. Former President Jerry John Rawlings, Friday Lieutenant. Okay, so we have to do the newspaper. So let's start with the Ghanaian Times. It has on the front page, one village, one dam takes off. Work to start in 3 months, we're told. And that's according to the Vice President. We brought you that story, so that's a good thing about it. And then we also have Kumasi hotspot for sale of unaccustomed vehicles. And that story is on page 17. And we're told that Kumasi, even though it's not close to Accra, you can get a lot of imported stuff. Even sometimes at very competitive prices, we're told. The story goes as saying that the Custom Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has identified Kumasi as a hotspot for the convergence and sale of unaccustomed vehicles. It has therefore asked the general public to be wary of purchasing vehicles from Kumasi as the authority intensifies its surveillance and intelligence activities to apprehend culprits. When they're taken from the harbour straight away, I think you mean from the Togo port, without paying the right duties. Okay, so we have police to recruit also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Police to recruit 4,000 personnel this year, and that's according to the president. The story attributed to the president in a speech, and it says that the president is hoping that we will have the police beefing up their ranks by 4,000 personnel, and he's saying that apart from that, negotiations have been completed for the rollout of a total of some 8,700 CCTV cameras across all districts, with three command centers in Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale. It looks like we're going to be somewhere in the UK or something, semblance of us, being the right states. So if you jump traffic, it means that it's possible. Not all the time. It's only when the CCTV cameras are fixed at the traffic intersection. So that's a good thing about what the president has announced. Man arrested for possessing gun. And so all these stories are on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Let's go to the back page. It says Wafa Kotoko draw at Sogakope. And we also have 11 Wonders has share points. Dreams FC pip Elmina Sharks and be disciplined, compete fairly, Team Ghana told. So those are the stories we have on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Now let's go to the Daily Guide newspaper. So we go to the Daily Guide. It has on the front page, Rawlings blasts Hanatete over Kunedu. Who brought you that insert there? And 8,700 CCTV cameras to fight robbers. NLA Xmas contract valid. Let's go to the center spread, the News One pullout. Okay, today is not a News One pullout. It's George Lutrot doesn't deserve to sit on TV and radio. Chase Forever. Chase Forever is a musician. He wants to attract attention, just like George Lutrot also does. Good morning to you, George Lutrot. Toy Boy dedicates new video to the Asibre drama, and I will support rural education with my music. That's Adam. Adam is a new one there. He's produced by Derek Ekosam, a lead producer who has commenced work after a long leave. So good morning to you, Derek Ekosam. But let's go to the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It has on the front page allegations against Mawan Trabolsi. Who will Akufo-Addo support, Kennedy Agyapong or Jerry Rawlings? And the story is on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, and it says that the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is being urged by his close friend, outspoken member of parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Agyapong, not to attempt to intervene in the Kotoka International Airport cargo center contract of the Trabolsi Mawan, one Trabolsi Mawan, who the New Protective Party is alleging to be a crony of the former First family. And Mr. Agyapong is alleging that the owner of the questionable contract is a crony of former President John Rawlings and his wife, for which reason he has been operating without due process since July 2012. And we also know that he has a contract which was first signed for the use of the facility at the Kotoka International Airport. With questions raised about the operation of the cargo contract, Mr. Kennedy Agyapong is telling the president not to intervene should it be reported to him for his action. Honorable Kennedy Japan. So we go back to the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It still has a story: probe untidy contract deal at National Lottery Authority Kweku Bako. And so those are the stories we have on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Now let's look at the final newspaper, and the story says interest rate dropped 24%. New formula expected to lead to further reductions, and we know that the macroeconomic indicators have been improving since the last year, and ultimately with the prime rate also being pegged lower, it means that's the Bank of Ghana by the Bank of. It means that sometimes the commercial banks are compelled. The current rate, even though we know that it is 24.5%, the market rate by the commercial banks or charged by the commercial bank is hovering around 30 to about 28%. But we'll see how that goes, because this is compelling for the commercial banks to keep reducing their rates if they can. We're hoping that they will, though. Dr. Baumia hints of revamping Tumu cotton ginnery, and that's on page 8 of the final newspaper. We also have RTI, that's the Right to Information Law, will kill the corrupt, pass it now. We'll discuss that on AM Talk this morning. We're going to have Andrew Japamesa, who is a Member of Parliament for Second D, and the South Dine Member of Parliament, Roxanne Nelson Apamko, will be in the studio as well. So we have FDA cautions against South African meat products. So those are the stories we have. But let's look at the story about the interest rate and relatively how that is going to impact on access to finance and other facilities that are sought by corporate entities and startups especially. It would also mean that ultimately when the interest rates go down, we're going to have domestic loans also being made available. I've been approached by my bank also whether I want to take a loan or so, but I know that it's because the rates are not too good. The treasury bill rate are also going down, so they don't find it enticing to be investing in that. They rather give it to individuals at some 28%. That's a huge problem. Data published by the Bank of Ghana shows that the industry average base rate of commercial bank has dropped to 24.5%. It's not true. It's not true. Bank of Ghana, maybe it's not true. This percentage is a drop of 1.1% when compared to the average as we had it at the end of January 2018. The banks are charging more than 24%. If we can call any banker to ascertain that for us. We have the Ghanaian Observer. It has on the front page, people with no integrity are running NDC. JJ Jabs, Portofay, Mosquito, Kofi Adams and Co. Other stories we have: I don't have a Facebook account. Special assistant and to the Zongo minister is saying contracts awarded NLA boss sister-in-law saved the state billions, according to Apenyo Markin. He was on Newsfile. All this taken from Newsfile. English and Manfro lands as two leaders. And Ghana ready for investment. Chamber of Commerce boss tells Indian investors. The Daily Statesman newspaper has on the front page, push government for action, ensuring good governance. Bedietuo Nana Asante Bedietuo, who is the secretary to the president, delivering a lecture at the 10th anniversary of the Dankwa Institute held in Accra, is telling civil society organizations. And then President Kufuor has assured that some 8,700 CCTVs will be deployed across the country to help in the fight against crime. Baumia to deliver keynote address at the 6th edition of EOBS. What's EOBS? Acronyms keep coming up. This acronym is okay. It's the Ghana Economic Outlook and Business Strategy Conference. It's going to take place on Wednesday. That's the 21st of March at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Okay. Other stories we have on the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper: government to deploy 8,700 CCTVs to augment the fight against crime. The Today newspaper has on the front page, Digicat extends IPO until March 23. Indum pays courtesy call on U.S. ambassador to Ghana. So all that. Rawlings weeps for NDC. That story is on page 3 of the paper. And we know that he'd been speaking to a group of cadres here in Accra. He had a lot to say about a handshake. We brought you that insert. The handshake he thought his wife experienced on one of those Independence Day parades in the past, just in the recent past, at the hand of the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Hannah Tete. Now we have the Herald newspaper. The Herald newspaper has on the front page, Opuni and Agongo, political trial collapses at birth. Kokobo's documents and procedures confirm witch hunt. Professor Alexodu court and Mills era revenge. We have Boss crude oil seal gets murkier. Company issues 5th press statement to sway gullible journalists. FDA to destroy meat product from South Africa. It says more girls making first class according to the Legon University of Ghana Vice Chancellor. When we say Legon, it means University of Ghana, usually. There's a balance. But let's look at the last newspaper before we go to look at the various online portals. Shippers divided over cargo disinfection exercise. Cost factor versus public safety. This is not a rip-off, according to the implementer. And we have Bank of Ghana to implement credit market development program. GT Bank records significant growth in profits and leapfrogging stages in economic development dangerous. But let's look at the main story on the front page of the Business and Financial Times. The story is on page 3. It says that while Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has thrown its weight behind it, a number of other trade associations have raised cost and other concerns over the planned cargo disinfection exercise at the country's ports, asking government to come clean on the modalities. The Ghana Health Service, which is supervising the exercise, has asked members of the shipping community to register with an online portal, that's the www.lcbworldwide.com, and make payments in relation to the disinfection exercise. We also have the Ghana Service and the circulars to the business associations, etc. So we've had a number of business association leaders also raising concerns about disinfection of cargo areas at the ports. And they don't seem to be comfortable, according to what the story is on the front page of the Business and Financial Times. So those really are the stories. But let's just know that will be it. But let's go to the back page. Priority Express, Courier Plus unveil landmark partnerships. So those are the stories we have currently as far as the newspapers are. Now let's go to do the online portals, and we look at myjoyonline.com first. It has on the front page Rami, Confessions of a Catholic. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I've lost the tongue for which I have to make this confession. It's an opinion. Ghana records first case of extensively drug-resistant TB. It is dangerous, we're told. It is drug-resistant, and as a result, that's where the danger lies. BEC, educational bemoans poor performance by public schools. We'll read the story to you in detail. Talks about an educationist expressing concern over the continuous abysmal performance of pupils. It says an educationist and head of the finance department of the University of Cape Coast, Professor John Gachi, has expressed concern over the continuous abysmal performance of pupils in public schools in the Basic Education Certificate examination. Professor Gachi observed that public school pupils perform poorly compared to their counterparts in the private schools during the standard assessment examination. He was speaking at the 9th John Gachi Educational Foundation Excellence Award Ceremony at Joja in the Kitu North Municipality of the Volta region. And we know that he says this is a great concern. And indeed it's a great concern. If you come to the main areas of our country in terms of the urban areas, and well, so many of us who went to public schools were lucky enough then, if that is the case. But there are some very good public schools, especially the mission school. They tend to do very well, I should say. Now let's go on and look at more stories on myjoyonline.com. And when you go to myjoyonline.com, you can always get a lot of videos which have been linked to My Joy Online TV, which is our channel on YouTube. We have Finance Ministry launching a new tax project to support economic enhancement. It's called the Tax Revenue for Economic Enhancement Project. Cape Coast inaugurates task force to decongest the city, and is in a bid to decongest the central regional capital, Cape Coast. The Metropolitan Assembly has already inaugurated a task force made up of 10 personnel. And we know that Nesatha, who is the Metropolitan Chief Executive, also gave the indication that all those trading outside the Kotokaba markets, that's not in the stalls, not in the main market, would have to stop because they want to clean the area, make sure that it's sanitized. I think I agree with him. Rami Beatty writes on the wall, he gave me a gist of this on my WhatsApp platform, and that's very good. Good morning to you, Mr. Rami Beatty, an experienced marketing communication consultant and practitioner. Anas Aremiyao to attend mom's funeral without mask. It says undercover journalist Anas Aremiyao Anas will be facing severe public attention when he attends the funeral ceremony of his late mother. I nearly said Aras Aremi. That was bad. I think I ate some banku this morning. So let's go. Misery at Zabzugu. 2,000 stranded 36 hours after rainstorm. And it says more than 2,000 residents in Zabzugu in the northern region have been left stranded after torrential rains Thursday night. And we're being told about 4,000 new recruits, 8,700 CCTVs to be deployed to strengthen police work. Well. Now let's go to City FM Online before we give you an insight into what really has been happening with Vladimir Putin. I mean, Vladimir Putin has won his term. He's been in power, or has tasted the presidency for 18 years. So there was one time he was in and out after his term limits. Now he's back again. So we have 5 injured, 10 arrested after chieftaincy clash at Goy. MMDC's top assembly staff steal 60,000 Ghana cedis weekly, according to George Lowe. Can we read the story, if we can, in detail? And the story basically also says that a former member of parliament for North Dying, George Lowe, he's also a legal practitioner, by the way, has alleged that some Metropolitan Municipal District Chief Executive, in collaboration with top staff members of the assemblies, illegally make close to 60,000 Ghana cedis every Friday. According to him, these MMDs dip their hands into assemblies' internally generated funds with the excuse that they are going to make funeral donations and also pay compensations that have executed or pay companies that have executed contracts. Okay, so he was saying this on City FM. That's an allegation he's raised. You have to call him if he has any difficulty with that. Okay, so we have group begins 6-day walk to protest mining in the Tiwa forest. 570 dams to be constructed this year, Baumia. Okay, let's go up and see whether we can get some other stories. 36 new district needless, according to Franklin Kujo. Be fair to Oponi, don't persecute him, George Lowe. All right. So now let's go to the BBC. Remarkable peace deal to end Somalia vendettas. We're told rival clans agreed on life for a life deal to end a cycle of revenge killing and vendettas. And Africa's only woman head of state to quit is the Mauritian president. And we know that she's been in the news. She's been attacked for lifetimes on a charity provider bank card. Kululu, Africa. Doesn't matter which country. Once it's Africa, Africa, the AFRICA, Africa. Corruption. Now let's go to look at Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin has won his election. It says polls closed in Russia. Putin said to be in power for 6 more years. But let's go to CNN and get some videos there and see.
The winner again.
Thank you for being so enormous in your support. Many millions of you. Shout yes. Unity is the most important thing. It is very important that you should have the choice to vote for other candidates. But the main thing is that we have to move ahead. And to do that, we have to feel that we are together.
And just outside of Red Square is where we find CNN's Frederick Pleiken. It's been, a celebratory mood there. So what are they waiting for?
Yeah. Well, they're not really waiting for anything anymore, Frederica. Vladimir Putin has come out and he's essentially said that he believes that he's won this election. And certainly if you look at the exit polls, and I think around 40 to 50% of the vote is now counted here in Russia. It's, of course, a very large country with 11 time zones. He's at over 74% at this point in time. So certainly it seems pretty much certain that he is going to be the next president of Russia as well for another 6 years. As you just showed there, he came out and thanked his supporters. He also said that now was the time to get to work, to make Russia better for the children, for the current children. As he said, obviously, this is someone who's going to stay in power the next 6 years. The big thing for Vladimir Putin to legitimize, however, his election, Frederica, was not really how much percent of the vote he was going to get. Everybody knew that he was going to get a large chunk of it, but is going to be voter turnout. Now, we haven't seen exactly what voter turnout is. He wants somewhere between 60 and 70%. Seems as though right now he's a bit somewhere between that, a little bit over 60%. So we're going to keep an eye on that, wait for that. But it certainly seems absolutely sure that Vladimir Putin is going to be the next president of Russia for another 6 years, Frederica.
So Vladimir Putin, well, once again, the president of Russia, definitely. It looks like that's what the polls are indicating. He gave a press conference early this morning. And we'll see how that goes with him. But we'll bring you a lot more. And those are the reviews we have for the various online portals. Well, you can get interactive on Facebook, JoyNews on TV, and then you can also make sure that you get the best as far as we're concerned in getting information to us through our various platforms. But right now, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest sports stories. We'll also be having some great discussions with our guests this morning. Do stay on. We will be right back.
Foreign Minister Hana Tete Koda o country lord I so friend no country no na lord na country no say oh old man it is a asem no wanja mu ana edien asem one time. In fact, twice, Sawumanu, now I hear who champion jockey, or Congress meeting. First time, no, whether it's Tamale, or Miri. Second time, somewhere. Third time was 6 March, as through honor. So, no, a foreign minister. Or some people, woman, some guests, they came late. One more chia. Or chia me yirinu namiti, from her throat. Later on, me besides that, not knowing. Samu ko namu chia. Big people, or man penny for the big. Chiefs, big chiefs, mancheme na mu hwe mu hu mu ka se mu be use a chance amia no tindia mu hwe se on share sa de no ring no because who try John obey you who na ubapin aha nya nyina nya chance a chia mancheme not knowing shami mi yiri no hunam ndoso na mutete boda no o chia mi yiri no mia